Welcome. Thank you for joining me, the Old Grumpy Prosperity Team, and the Prosperous Diva for this special presentation of Grow Your Mind and Money. We are interviewing Jeanna Hawkins, the CEO of A Perfect Type LLC. Jeanna has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower herself and others to stay the course and take the action to fulfill their visions and dreams. Jeanna's willingness to share her heart and not just her knowledge to make a difference has her be a champion for humanity. Before we continue, it is time to see what Prosperous Thoughts Mr. Ronnie has for us today. Mr. Ronnie.
Thank you, Diva Nikki. Welcome to Consequences. Ask yourself, what can you do today that will improve the consequences you experience tomorrow? How can you make the inevitable consequences turn out in your favor? For all you do, for all you think, for all you choose, there are consequences. The consequences may come soon or much later. You might recognize them, or you might not. Yet they will always come. For every action, there is a reaction. For every cause, a result. Live as though there will be consequences, because there will be. You cannot avoid consequences. What you can do, however, is to bring about the most desirable consequences as a result of the choices you make. Gratefully embrace the fact that there are consequences. Consequences enable you to change reality, and you can choose to make those changes valuable, beneficial ones. When you act in this moment, you act on behalf of all the days and years to come. Act so that when the consequences do arise, you'll be delighted to welcome them with open arms. What I am present to about myself and growing my mind when it comes to the theme, welcome the consequences, is that each action I take, each step that moves me forward is a result of a consequence. And that if I am putting out something positive, if I'm working toward a goal, the consequences are that inevitably good will come my way. And it's time, I'm just so excited, for a special interview with Jeanna Hawkins, Empress Nakia. Please take it away.
Oh, how wonderful. I apologize. I am having a technical issue that just occurred, and I apologize. So give me one moment.
Would you like me to lead while you work through it? Would you like me to lead while you work through it?
Just give me 1 second so I can scroll this screen that I'm not used to fighting with, because my page just shut on me. Okay, Nikki, if you don't mind, I'll chime in just a moment. Let me try to reopen this.
No, we don't mind at all. So, in this part of the interview, we learn about a challenge Jeanna faced in having her dreams fulfilled, a challenge that knocked the wind out of her sails. Somehow, some way, she kept going and turned that challenge from seeming defeat to victory. Thank you, Jeanna, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Absolutely. So, Jeanna, please share an incident or a time in your life that knocked the wind out of your sails and the going got rough.
Well, I would say, we all run into those types of situations. I think the one that was most impactful for me was back in 2006. I was working in corporate America at the time, so I had not ventured out into the entrepreneurial world. But I fell victim to a money laundering scheme where I lost everything. It affected my family, my marriage at the time, let alone, my ability to feed me. I came from a strong family, however, who, supported me and had my back, step by step, and assisted me in finding my way back up, and finding actually a new way for me to, make a living for my family. And that unfortunate happening, actually steered me down the path of me becoming an entrepreneur. And it's interesting, we run into, certain circumstances like that, you would think where you would hit rock bottom, I guess you can say. And, how do you come back from that? And your thoughts are always, in the present moment, but you're always thinking about, okay, how do I let this happen, So I would say that instance is probably the most devastating that I've experienced.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Diva Nikki. I appreciate it. So during that time that you were dealing with...
Nikki, just 1 second. Jeanna, could you just tell us, because I'm sitting up here with my chin on the floor, a money laundering scheme?
Yes, you know how, it's still happening. It's you get these situations where, like, you get these emails or you get these phone calls where people are deceitful in their manner in which they'll try to get your bank account or your information. Well, this is
will you share what happened with you specifically?
Yeah, well, this was a an internet based scheme where they contacted me through my email, and they had expressed their need to build a website, right? Because at the time I didn't have my business actually up and running, but I was on Guru, which is a site that allows people to submit jobs, and then other individuals will bid on them, and you win the bid, and you move on to the next phase, which is them outlining then the specifics of the job that they want to do. Well, essentially, I was chosen to do the job. I was sent the information that they wanted to have on their website and what they wanted me to do and that kind of thing, what they wanted it to look like. They even sent me a sample. And we were moving on along with the process, and they sent me a check, right? And so they sent the check, I think, through FedEx or something like that. And so, of course, you take it to the bank and, you let the bank and then handle it from there, in terms of, solidifying the funds or transferring the funds over and that kind of thing. But I think what in essence happens, and I don't know all the logistics of it, but the funds are funneled in through like some other entity, and the amount of money that's actually deposited into like my account was not money from this person. It was from someone else's account.
Wow.
And so basically, me not knowing, there's like, I guess they got someone else's account number and that kind of thing, and use it as a way to wire the funds from that account into mine. I don't know all the background information or how it all happened, but eventually that money got funneled out of my account because that's where it ended. I was a stopping point. And so when the bank started trying to pull their money back, the real bank started trying to pull their money back, they had to pull it out of my account. There's no safety net. There wasn't. I knew there wasn't one at that time. A safety net to safeguard the person at the end of the chain. And so, basically I lost.
Wow. I can't imagine being in that type of experience, and I have had my identity stolen, and thank you so much for sharing that. I heard of so many people experiencing those things, so you sharing it with our listeners and being so clear and specific as to what actually occurred does make the difference. That authenticity, it trumps everything. So during that time that you were dealing with this particular situation, who or what did you blame in the experience?
Well, I've always been the type of person to take ownership. So, of course, I blame myself for being gullible in that sense. Not, taking on, or asking, questions a little bit further, in the beginning, I guess, to make sure that the people I was dealing with were actual, an actual company, doing my research from, of that company. And now, of course, I having experienced that, I do my due diligence.
Absolutely. I can definitely understand that. Did at any time did you blame the other party, those other individuals that was involved in it? I mean, people that were reaching out to you.
Well, I think I asked more of a why question than a blame. I asked more of a why. Why would you want to manipulate that kind of a situation with someone? Why would you want to manipulate, just the general public? I guess it's the same thing, I guess, when you're dealing with people who hack into computers and do that kind of thing. It's like, you're preying on, those people who are not going to dig any deeper, or, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
Just to have that mindset that you want to prey on someone is just sick to me. So, I mean, I guess, like I said, the why was more of an important issue to me than blaming someone else for it.
Oh, I get it. What, and you may have said it, what year was this?
2006.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Wow. And it truly continues to make an impact. So what point did you stop caring about who or what to blame?
Oh, early on, because, again, it was at that point, it was like, well, what am I going to do now? I mean, I had to be able to, pick up the pieces and move forward. There was not when you have responsibilities, your first thought is, okay, well, then now how am I going to take care of this, or how am I going to take care of this? Where is this money going to come from? How do I even have the time to think about this right now, because it was so unexpected. So, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I can't be stagnant. I have to figure this thing out. And after the whole, ordeal was over, then it was like, okay, well, where should my focus be now? What's going to bring me the best reward, the fastest, without, me having to dwell on what's happened, in the past, because I can't do anything about what had happened.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Being that, that was in 2006, and I get that you had to, really be like, you know what, I don't have time to deal with the emotional side of what happened. I have to get up, and I have to pick up the pieces, and I have to move forward. Whatever that looks like, I got to do it. Did at any point you have the space, after you kind of eventually got things settled and kind of got on your feet again, did you stop at any one time and reflect back on that experience? And was there an impact yet and still on you concerning that?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, it made me definitely more diligent in who I deal with. Even looking at, trust, and that kind of thing, that changed, and not just from a a business level, but on a personal level, that it changed me in that sense. Being able to take everything at face value, where I used to be able to do that, and believe that, my brother, so to speak, wouldn't just, tell me a story or lie to me and expect me to believe it and not question it. But now I question those things. But I try to, it's been a while now, so it's kind of tapered off a little, I'll say that. But in the beginning, trust was a major issue.
Yeah, I can see that. So when did you see the light of possibility? What happened specifically?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Even the kids. No, that's okay. I'd like to know, what was the first action that you took to get out of the hole? Please, Jeanna.
Well, I had to sit down and make a list of what it is, everything that I was really responsible for, that I saw myself responsible for, that I could not release. Okay. And from that, I had to decide, okay, well, when I look at what's my best way out of all of this, what it is that I can rely on. So, like I said, at the time I was working in corporate America. So, I needed more financial support, trying to pull out of it, I guess you could say, than what I was making at the company I was working with. So I kind of leaned on what I guess I always knew, which is what my God-given gifts are. The knowledge that I already had obtained, I figure, okay, well, no one can take this away from me. All I can do is build on it. So I've always been passionate about the arts, and I've always been passionate about commercial arts, to be specific. And even in high school, that was my intention, was to go to school and become a commercial photographer. Life happens and other things led to other things, and I never got back to that. So because that came easy for me, I then began to take courses and classes in that field and in that industry. And so I had always helped other businesses that family members had, to develop and grow and that kind of thing. And they'd always, suggested that I get out and do my own and become a consultant and use those skills. So that's basically what I did. I went back and decided, okay, well, in order for me to get out of this hole, I'm going to have to go wholehearted into something. And that was me.
Wow. So, Nikki, did you have another question?
Yes. My other question is, did you yourself have to call the bank and get loans? Like, what action in that way did you have to take?
Oh, no, because when something like that happens, your bank account, unfortunately, the first thought that comes is that you're a guilty party in all of this. So I had to deal with police, attorneys, everything. It was not just a simple, go open up another bank account type situation. It was not like that. It was just like what you see in movies where, your accounts get frozen and that kind of thing. That was what I faced.
Got it. Thank you.
Anything else, Nikki?
No, that is all for now. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So when did you see the light of possibility and what happened?
Well, I would say after I started my business and it actually started to grow. I'd say 2009 roughly is when I started actually seeing more growth and more movement. that, of course, empowered me even more to learn more, do more, offer more. And so it was, I was 100% in at that point. I was 100% in, and I would say I was 100% happy. Also, I guess in the way I was being moved into that space, because when I was working at the company I was with, I had kind of already reached the point of stagnancy, and I didn't see myself doing that forever, and I didn't see myself being content with that. And so this kind of moved me into a space where I knew I was able to help other people, do what I liked, something that was actually bringing me joy, And so that was where I saw myself, and in hindsight, I know that, okay, you had to go through that thing to get where you are now.
Yeah, I get that. Sure, a lot of people have had those similar experiences and can truly relate. So, thinking about our theme, welcome the consequences, what comes to mind with dealing with a challenge or dealing with challenges?
One, that you have to accept what's put before you. You can't run from it. It's not going to go away. You have to be able to face that and strategize, your next move. You're going to have to be able to sit down and actually figure out, okay, where this may come from. How do then I get over this hurdle in the best way possible and the healthiest way possible.
Excuse me. Having all kinds of moments over here. I'm dealing with challenges. Thank you. Dealing with challenges. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And right now I'm going to acknowledge Miss G. I'm so sorry.
That's right.
Jeanna.
Jeanna.
I'm breaking down in all kinds of ways, y'all. For the listeners and the team in just a few minutes. Right now, I know her sharing has truly been powerful and it's made an impact on me and so many of the listeners as well as the team. And I'm going to ask the team if they don't mind sharing what they saw about their lives from your sharing and the difference that your sharing has created for them. So, Mr. Ronnie, would you please begin sharing?
Yeah, first, I look at all the times that I've taken a risk and felt like I was a fool once the consequences hit. And what I see about myself is I can't know everything, but I can scare myself out of not doing something to at least find out. And if I scare myself, then I won't get anything, done. Because I'll be waiting to see if it's right. And the other thing I see is that it's a powerful thing to not go after the next shiny object. That next shiny object that's going to leave you disappointed and thinking that you're a failure or you didn't get it. And right under your nose are everyday ways that work. So, what I see, that's what I see is the clarity. So that's what I see for myself.
Got it. Okay. Diva Nikki, would you mind sharing what you got from your listening?
Wow. first of all, I was blown away with hearing firsthand someone's experience with money laundering and the effects of that and what that could be like. And then the courageous way that she looks within herself for her own talents that she possessed, her own skills that she possessed, and putting them to work. For myself, I get confirmation. Never, ever, ever forget the talents and the skills that you have within you, whether they come naturally or whether they are something that you have obtained over the years. Never let the dust settle that you can't go back and pick them up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you, Nikki. Anything further?
How much deeper do you want me to get?
You That was a loaded question. Okay, so with that being said, for myself, she's trying to give me all kinds of extra. What is this here? Welcome to consequences. I am reaping the consequences. So for myself, there's so much that you shared, and I agree with both what Ronnie said and Nikki said. And one thing that stood out for me as well, because I've actually experienced having my identity stolen, but in a different way. So I can really, really, really relate to the challenges that you go through resulting in that. Your consequences were far greater than mine. Mine was a different experience, but it was still your identity, right? Still a violation of your trust and your willingness to be genuine and authentic and a giver. So one thing also that you shared was of working in an environment in which you kind of plateaued, you kind of saw yourself at your maximum input.
Right.
And whether or not you wanted to continue to contribute, and if so, how much farther you were going to be able to contribute and still own who you are as a person. And we go on jobs, we work for people, companies, and entities, and we're there. I'm there, and I'm giving my all, but then I know that my worth is not being seen for what it is. And my contributions are not being given the amount of value that I feel that my contributions should be given. Sitting there and knowing that where I am may be exactly where I'll be, because so many organizations don't want you to move or get beyond where you are because they fear you, because you have so much talent and so much to give, so much to offer, that it takes attention away from them, because, it could be 99,000 different reasons why you still stay in the space that you're in. And being willing to step out on faith and listen to God and listen to your higher being, on that inner person, and trusting you have so much talent, you have so much to give, you have so much to offer the world, and being in the space that you are in or remaining there limits you from exposing and expressing yourself to your fullest potential. So I really acknowledge you for doing what a lot of us don't do. And a lot of people who are afraid to walk away from that security, quote unquote security on the job, that paycheck or whatever that is for them, that don't walk away, even if there's something so traumatic that occurs, to need to actually step out. So thank you so much for your sharing. And I know that we're going to hear much more from you later in the show. And I'm going to request that Diva Nikki please take us to break.
Wasn't really up for it, but okay. Just kidding. I'm giving them a hard time today, Jeanna. Well, I'll do that often. Anyway, stay tuned for the corner. We'll feature music from Leah Zion and my interview with our guest, Jeanna Hawkins. Welcome back. We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Now it's time for the corner with Mr. Ryan. So let's welcome him with a smooch and a rose.
Thank you, Diva Nikki. Welcome to the corner. We are featuring music from Leah Zion. We asked the team to vote whether the track should get a smooch and a rose, or if it needs more fertilizer. Let's hear one by one.
Untighten these ropes and let me breathe again. Forget all that chokes and say goodbye to them. And when I'm finally woke, congratulate me then. Congratulate me then. One by one, you take yourself apart. Here and there is where you throw it all. This or that, don't be fooled, it won't be changing. Venture away from your mind, Your words can be gold to your headspace. Your words can be gold. Your words can be gold to your headspace. Your words can be gold. Whispers of tomorrow, they like to gossip of their life. I'm getting car sick on the ride. I like to borrow all your pride. Pulling back and forth, is that all you're ever good for? Swinging up and down, is that what you live for? No. One by one, you take yourself apart. Here and there is where you throw it all. Fix this or that, don't be fooled, it won't be changing. Venture away from your mind, Your words can be gold to your headspace. Your words can be gold. Your words can be gold to your headspace. Your words can be bold. Forget your enemies, forget your pain. It's all where it's meant to be. All is in vain. One by one, you take yourself apart.
All right, that was One by One. Is One by One getting a smooch and a rose or some free fertilizer? Empress Nakia, you feeling One by One?
What? What?
Well, didn't Noah and the Ark bring them in one by one or something?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. So that sounds like some fertilizer, a backing up on a truck.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Diva Nikki, what you think?
What?
Diva Nikki, what you think? Why you so quiet? That question came to you. What you think?
Well, to put it.
Wait, Diva Nikki's turn. But we know Empress Nakia is pulling out the truck.
Well, now, don't be so hard on her.
Okay. Not too hard? Okay, so what does that look like?
What that looks like, it looks like a peck and some petals.
Ah, okay. So should I change my response? What about you?
I am going to say we can give it a peck and then work on some acoustics.
Okay.
So hello?
Yeah, we with you, Ryan. We just having a thrill moment.
So we just do it. All right.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear.
Empress Nakia, are you trying to say that you fertilizing the girl?
Well, the ladies have influenced me.
Well, it doesn't matter with the ladies. Are you fertilizing or getting a smooch in the road?
I'm gonna give a little fertilizer, and I'm gonna give a peck. I'm gonna give a couple pecks and a little fertilizer, so we can work on a couple things.
Kind of funky, but okay.
So we can get on track. There you go.
All right. Our guest Jeanna, were you feeling One by One, or you hanging out with Empress Nakia and you then went to Lowe's and got a bag of fertilizer?
I'm the one that responded a peck and some work on the acoustics, because I'm not quite sure if it was a problem with our technologies that was causing the sound defects, or if it was in the song itself. So that's
all right.
So that's why I said a peck.
Okay, a peck. And Diva Nikki, of course, we know she played the song before the show. So we didn't have to have technology issues. Are you giving it a smooth rose, a peck, a pedal,
A peck and some petals.
A peck and some petals. Okay. So we got fertilizer, we got pecks, we got petals.
Yes, because it has potential. So we're going to use the fertilizer to get the acoustics together. Work on some more mastering.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine with me. Because I know if it ain't fine with me, I'll tell you no. I want all my time back. We don't know what we're doing here. But no, it's a peck and some petals.
A peck and some petals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. One by one. Now I have a rose in one hand and a bag of fertilizer in another. I'm going to go ahead and give her a rose. Now, if you like the music from Leah Zion, she got a nice voice. You can check her out on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. But now it's time. I'm really excited to continue our interview with Jeanna Hawkins, Champion for Humanity. Over to Diva Nikki.
Thank you. So, Jeanna, thank you for staying with us for this part of the interview.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm excited. So in this segment, we will learn more about what had you create a perfect type, LLC.
Okay.
So please share with us the aha moment when you knew in your heart of hearts that it was time for you to be a business owner and create a perfect type, LLC.
Well, it was definitely in my rebuilding process. And I honed into, what has always brought me peace and joy, which is building business. And I guess for me, taking, all of my natural skills and implementing those skills that I learned and creating, just being able to create and finding that my clients also were just as pleased. I guess part of one of the uniquenesses about how I do business is I am trying to always hone into my client's vision. I mean, their wholehearted vision of what they want their business to look like, operate like, be, that unique piece of themselves that goes into the business, because any business owners definitely have their own individual piece that's part of it. And so I'm always trying to hone into what is that, what is that one thing about you and your business that's tied together. And when I'm able to develop that and then see them pleased, that's the ultimate, goal of everything and brings me to, to my point of satisfaction. So that would probably be my aha moment, when I can see the smiles on their faces.
Thank you. Jeanna, can you remember the moment you chose the name A Perfect Type?
Yes, actually, I was going through the services that I offer my clients, and it's such a wide array that I was trying to find actually something that would incorporate one, what I do as well as who I am. So that's what I want to be, right, is the perfect type for whatever type of business you're in, whatever industry my clients are in that need my assistance. I want to be that individual that they see as their go-to person that they can trust to produce what it is that they're needing, whether that be web design or a logo or admin support, whatever, because of the number of services that I have to offer. I want to just ensure that my name, encompassed everything. And I think I probably came upon that idea having a powwow with a friend of mine, and she was always telling me that I need to go into business consulting and that kind of thing, and I was kind of like, okay, well, how do
Excuse me, Jeanna, I hate to interrupt. Actually, I don't
Go
need
ahead.
to interrupt. But I just wanted to kind of get back to what Diva Nikki was creating. And, I just really want you to go back to, because there was a moment where you chose a perfect type, correct? Because the perfect type did not exist, no matter what it didn't.
Yeah.
Can you really remember when you did that?
The name, yes, but in terms
what was happening? What was happening?
With the name, like I say,
when you created the name, were you like in a room drinking some coffee or sipping on some tea, And it was like, wow. Because I get that the purpose of the business, all of that, but, we're really looking at because, see, things get created in a moment. There was no perfect type. Even if you were providing all the services, perfect type things.
Yeah.
So can you share that moment?
Yeah, so, it was just me in the kitchen with a friend of mine. We were discussing me going into business. She had always tried to encourage me to, like I say, go into business consulting. And at the time, I didn't really know what that looked like. I didn't really know how I could encompass everything that I was wanting to encompass into one name. How do I then have a name that explains everything? There really wasn't one, but I actually knew what I wanted to do or what I wanted to become, and then therefore that's how a perfect type came about. Again,
so did you just kind of blurt out, I know the name, a perfect type?
Yeah.
Or did oh, what you mean you did just believably think it? Thank you.
Yeah.
And what did your friend say?
She went with it. She was like, "Oh, that sounds neat," but she at that point didn't really know, everything that I was thinking of putting into the business. But she definitely thought, oh, that sounds. But the name itself can mean so many different things. And
how did you feel when you said that? Like, did it like just ring that that's it?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost, it has a sense of vanity to it in a sense also. Because, like I say, it can be conveyed as, having just that much confidence in yourself, just knowing that that is possible, that you can be someone's perfect type, right?
That is awesome. Diva Nikki, take back your segment.
But yeah, so that went into, further, thinking about the name and how the name would present itself to others. So I definitely knew, after saying the name, a couple of times, how it could be conveyed.
Okay. Well, thank you. So, what were some of the unexpected challenges that tried to knock you off the path for having your business be profitable?
I'm going to say the business growing the way that it has, finding someone that, to work with that actually, had some of the same natural skills. I didn't really have to search far. As a matter of fact, I'm actually, grooming my daughter now to come into the fold. And she's been working with me for the last couple of years on some projects. And, she's 25 now. And her growing up, I didn't think she had that many of my same qualities. I mean, I always thought she was like me, her mannerisms and things of that nature. But she's actually, taken on a lot more of my other attributes as well. And so going into this and pulling her into the business, I've just seen how even my having discussions with her about projects that I've worked on and things like that, she's been able to contribute to them and that kind of thing. So I think the biggest challenge was, in the beginning as it was growing, trying to find that someone who could actually step in without a whole lot of coaxing and the coaching and that kind of thing, and be able to do some of the same type of production that I do.
Got it. Thank you. What is your personal measure for success? And what does success for a perfect type LLC look like 10 years from
now? Okay, so I would say personally, success means peace to me. I think when you have success, there is a level of peace that you have that comes with it. There are always going to be, business concerns and things like that, but for the most part, you don't hear a lot of noise. The noise that goes on and kind of contributes to you not being focused. Those types of things that you may experience in a workplace where you have a little bit more supervision and things that'll cause you more stress and that type of thing. I think once you reach the level of success, you don't have to worry about that. There's a lot more the peace that comes with it. In terms of 10 years from now, what does the perfect type look like? Wow, that is predicated on whether or not I can get my daughter to step in and do. She has a vision, but of course she has visions of her own. But being able to collaborate those things that I have in mind with the things that she has in mind, and creating this legacy for her kids, and because they're already. I have one that's a blooming little artist that I call her, and she's only 8. So it's being able to pull some of those new talents in that they have. I'd like to make this a family affair.
Okay. That's definitely a good idea. A way of also legacy.
Oh, yes. That's definitely my idea, is building a perfect type to be a legacy and having them be able to be proud of it, be proud of, every aspect of what they bring to the table. And like I said, them utilizing their natural abilities for that.
Good. So how has your success personally and for your business evolved over time? And if so, how?
Has the view of success personally and for my business evolved over time? Yes. Like I said, I've been able to, display a more authentic way of doing business, and I think that was probably high on my list when I started doing business. To be able to be as transparent as possible, both to my clients and to how I operate. And so with that evolution, because it took me some time to get to that place where I wasn't trying to actually replicate or duplicate or fit in the norm of how I do business, and seeing that has allowed me to grow. I haven't been stagnant just because I wasn't doing business the way Joe Blow was doing business, or comparing my business to another business that's in a similar industry. It's just I've been able to be as authentic as possible, like I say, and be prosperous at the same time.
That is what's up. Thank you. Now, this is one of my favorite parts. Please share a time or event when your work brought a smile to your face.
I would say just recently. Just recently, I had one of those moments. A new client came along and she asked me to create something for her. She needs a logo for a business, and most times, I'll ask like some general questions. What are your colors for your business? If you haven't identified those, what does that look like for you? What do you personally think is, just that ideal look for it and that kind of thing or whatever. And as opposed to, letting me just go and work on it and come back to the table as I normally do and present my mock-ups, I, went, created some mock-ups, came back, showed them to her, and she was excited. And we actually, decided, okay, we're going to work together on the project. And I haven't worked together like hand in hand with a client on something like this in quite some time. But she was there, like step by step. I was, we were making changes, we were doing things, and within probably 2 hours, maybe, we were able to finalize the design, have everything just the way she wanted and envisioned for herself. And I think that's probably, one of the moments that would, make me smile the most. Like I said, I've done a lot of work where I've gone and I've created things and just presented to my clients, and they're like, oh, great. But to actually, sit there with the client like step by step and actually show them kind of like what I can produce and that kind of thing brought me joy because they understood the artistry behind it and not necessarily just, someone going in and creating something and just giving it to them and they just say okay because they need it, It was one of those things where it was a heart-to-heart, battle for battle type. Let's see what this looks like, that kind of thing. And then the finished product was like wowed her.
Nice. Well, all righty then. So now I'm going to ask the team to please share what they see about their lives from inner sharing and the difference your sharing has created. So, Mr. Ronnie, with you first.
With a share like that, it's hard to say anything. Wow. Not be in the norm of how business is done. And what I got present to was the get. The normal way is the get. You want to get that money. And all the other stuff is very, sweet and airy-fairy. But if you're in business, it's about getting the money. And to get that can be the norm, supposed way. Because, the supposed way of doing business, we can get confused. And I have been in that confusion where it's like, if this is the norm, I don't want to get. I want people to I want to wow them. And what they get from me, they're like, wow, whether it worked or didn't work for their ultimate result, they're like, well, you know what I got from that guy, that was quality. That was, now maybe I didn't have that all, but that guy, hey, whatever way it turned out. And as you said, working with someone where they can appreciate the artistry, and so many times I've been upset with people because they didn't appreciate the artistry, the hours, the mental effort that I don't slop stuff together. I take the time. Now, I am not Rembrandt. I get it. But in my own world, I'm working that way. Whatever that, to have that artistry in what I do. So that's what I see about my life. And I'm just going to say the difference that that you made in your sharing for me tonight is the possibility of perfection. The possibility of perfection. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I know I snuck an acknowledgement in the slide. You know, even Nikki, do something with your segment.
Thank you, Ronnie B. Empress Nakia? Empress Nakia. Or not? Okay. Well, for me, Nakia? Hold on a second.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
I'm so sorry. I've never had a day like this. Technology is real. So, for myself, thank you so much. Lord, I'm having a laugh at myself, y'all. For myself, I just I really get, Ronnie, how you were sharing about the perfection aspect of things and not having the work that you do appreciated and valued. It's like, for me, when I'm contributing and when I'm sharing and when, you know, I step outside of my comfort zone to contribute and then something happens or what my contribution is not received in a way that I'm actually giving it, right? My way of, my perception of my giving. And then it can create a space with me where I'm like, I'm not appreciated. I'm not valued. You know, don't contribute anymore. Just quit. Just stop. And me being just a human being, I can easily get into the space of saying, you know what, I just won't contribute anymore. But I strive for that perfection. And I know in my giving or my sharing that it was coming from my heart. So I have to step outside of that comfort zone and continue to contribute and not take what a person's view or opinion is as a personal thing, a personal attack on me. It may not just be the right time. It may not be the right situation. It may not be right for that experience or that particular event or idea. But I have to continue to put myself back in that space to where I continue to contribute. And I really appreciate your sharing and your contributions and all that you have given me on this evening. So, Nikki, I'll let her do the acknowledgments. Thank you very much.
Are you crying? Ginger says, don't cry. She's going to pass your tissue.
Thank you, Diva.
Be charged by the tear.
Ronnie, you would charge. Lord have mercy.
Get that money. Get that money. Get that money. Wow. You know, I just want to definitely, like they said, definitely want to acknowledge you for all of your powerful sharing, but more importantly, for being a stand for yourself and for your legacy and for others, businesses, to make a difference to where you could have such a powerful share. Thank you. And on that note, before we have a keyboard all full of tears and earmuffs, all that, all watered down, Empress Nakia, can you manage to take us to break? And if not, Mr. Ronnie will pull up his pants and really just pull up really high, and he will take charge, right? Or maybe not really high. He's not purple, but...
All right, y'all. Up next, Shiny Sunshine Lounge plus Lose the Baggage. Please stay tuned.
Woo! Welcome back, y'all. Today has been an experience. And yes, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And absolutely, we do it for love. Okay? Shawnee left the keys to the lounge with Diva Nikki. See what's going on in the lounge, Diva Nikki. Break it on down.
Well, welcome to Shining Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind and maybe have you tap your feet or drink your tea, something. Tonight, we've been in the archives and we have an awesome poet, Kofi Daxi, performing. And if I messed the name up, y'all, Kofi Daxi, please forgive me. But performing that, don't crack.
In high school, my black was looked at like a cheat code. Say my black make me run faster. My black makes me jump higher. My black makes me rap good. My black keeps my skin clear. They say black don't crack, but explain that to my knees. Tendonitis made a meal out of this body, and they say black don't crack, porcelain do. And whiteness be frazzling like that, don't it? See how the word porcelain is held in the mouth? How it keeps getting molded into metaphor, like it might just tumble off my lips and sprinkle shards across the floor. The thing about black is it doesn't crack, but it's always the first to break, and that is its own kind of sick jokes. See, blackness be built like bombshells, or turmoil encasing and only bursts when it falls from high places. They say black don't crack. They say black don't crack, but the closest thing I've seen to it is the crevices in these peach palms I used to pray with. Just like the closest thing I've ever seen to cracking obsidian is charcoal burning in black. Be brilliant like that. And all the more reason to be fascinated by it. See, black, fascinating. The way it creeps through the cracks of concrete, the way it fills itself across beat drops and bass lines. I've heard, be it prison cells or battle rap, seems like blackness just can't seem to avoid bars. They say black don't crack, but if it could, black would crack like a phone screen, like a fissure through a culture, or a genealogy, but there is a difference between cracking and shattering, so black doesn't crack, but learn to be synonymous with burning. With ash. Knows why ashes are black, but ashiness is white, because when black dries out, all that leaves is skin that is dry and crackling. See, everything fades to black. I said everything fades to black, even whiteness. And so if blackness is my body, and my black does not crack or break, well, who puts it back together? See, maybe black doesn't crack, but like it rots, you know what I mean? Like it wastes away until the soul mimics driftwood damnation mask and putting on a brave face. And black's been a myth. I've been told I am a myth. Already knew I was akin to legends, so when they cracked my black open like a good book, they also discarded the decay when the smell hit their noses. Maybe that's what that smell was.
Well, I think Diva Nikki might be muted.
All right.
Well, maybe. Well, everybody, is Black Don't Crack getting some snaps, or are we throwing rotten tomatoes? And I'm going to start with, she ought to have a hang list by now, so I'm going to mix it up. Jeanna, what do you think? Are we giving snap?
I think Black Don't Crack needs a snap. It needs a snap. He spoke it well.
All right. Let's see if we can get Empress Nakia take on this. Empress Nakia, what say the Empress take?
All right. Snap, and toe tapping. Snapping and tapping, toe tapping, snapping. All right, my black don't crack, baby. My black don't crack.
Okay, so snap, and toe tap. Miss Savani, are you influenced by the divas, or do you have your own opinion?
Black crack, like the good book being open.
Okay.
Snappity snap.
But you guys have heard it. Everyone so far gives it all snap. And then there was Diva Nikki. All right. Hate to burst the bubble. I'm going to give it all snap too. Snap.
Yes.
So, if you enjoyed the performance also from Coffee Daddy, you can check him out on YouTube, and so you can get it right. In case I messed his name up, that would be KOFIDADZIE. Check him out on YouTube and on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. And now we're over to Mr. Ronnie for Lose the Baggage.
Thank you. And Kofi was pretty good. I had to get Kofi an extra toe tap.
All right.
Now, if you compare Grow Your Mind and Money to an airline, you would notice we have no planes, no check-in lines, no attendants, pilots, or flights. What we promise is we will support you in losing your baggage. Now, baggage in this case is in the form of a complaint, but not just any old complaint, a complaint that has persisted over time. Now, this complaint does not have to be something traumatic or upsetting, and it could be. The complaint can be as simple as, I wish my spouse would take out the garbage. It pisses me off when they just leave it for me to take out. Why can't they just take it out? If you're someone who never complains, maybe you have nonverbal complaints. You know, something or someone rubs you wrong, but you always let it go, but it really does rub you wrong. You might even get a little pissy about it, but you don't say anything. Consider that a complaint. We're going to do an exercise, and I invited our guest, Jeanna, to participate. So Jeanna and I will be doing the exercise, but the rest of the team, the divas, they'll do it in the background. Now, I asked Jeanna to look at an area of life that's important to her for a persistent complaint. So persistent is like over time. Like it may not be every day of the week, but when it comes up, you know it's kind of an old complaint. Now, let me give you a little context to our conversation. As human beings, we love to be right. We love to be right. And often what hides something from our view is our righteousness. We love to be right. In our occurring world, it's not righteousness. We are simply right. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, it's wrong. I'm right, they're wrong. And we don't want to hear anything that might change that view. Don't want to hear, no, I'm not listening. We don't want to hear anything that might change that view. Now, we're asking you to create the following categories. well-being, relationship, community, faith, or spirituality. Now, what we'd like you to do is select a category where you would like to have a breakthrough. Now, under that category, write down a complaint or issue you have that has persisted for a while. When an issue comes up, what way of being wise and swift? So there's something that the way you behave whenever that issue comes. You get angry or sad. Maybe you just resign or indifferent. Or as Empress Nakia said, hey, I just won't contribute. I'm just not going to contribute. Why bother? Whatever way you feel expressed as a way of being. Now, if you rarely complain, select the category and answer this question. Now, note I said not select the category where you have to, I said if you rarely complain. Select a category. Pick a category. Doesn't matter. Just pick a category. And answer this question. What have I been putting up with or resisting or just giving up on? What have I been putting up with or resisting or giving up on? Now, write the complaint that keeps persisting in that area. Now, if you're like, I can't think of a complaint that persists. Just think about it, and if a complaint comes up, pretend that it's been persistent. Now, write what way you're being around this issue, or how do you behave. Now, we're all doing this exercise with you. Again, Jeanna and I will share as we go through the process.
Right.
What is okay? Now, that's going to come up. What is the future that immediately gets created when this issue comes up? How do you behave? How do you feel? What actions do you take? Now, I'm going to check in with Jeanna, and I'm going to share myself and see how we're doing with the exercise. Now, Diva Nikki?
Yes.
Okay, would you please record our responses?
Yes.
I thank you, Ben. And so let me step through the process. Now, please share the category, persistent complaint, and where you behave or feel when this issue arises. So the category for me is relationship. And my persistent complaint, now I'm going to try to work it so it's kind of concise. So bear with me. I might have to work it to get it shortened down. But it's relationships, and it's in the area. Oh, here I think I can say it's the same thing. My friends would rather listen to fake people over the internet about business than what I have to say.
Your
okay,
friends?
Yeah. Okay. My friends. Yeah, my friends, partners. My partners are my friends, they family. Yeah, I might as well say my family, but distinct from my biological family. I'll just say my business family, the people that I care about. They'll believe fake internet people over what I say in my experience. And the way I behave or feel about that is hurt and disappointed.
Okay.
And the future that immediately gets created when this issue arises is upset, hurt, and disappointed. Watch, rinse, repeat. Upset, hurt, and disappointed. So I hope I made that succinct. How say you, Diva Nikki?
Let me see if I got this right. Fake business people hate you have to say, and you feel hurt, upset, disappointed?
I think you got the gist. Okay. All right.
And after hurt, upset, and the future that gets created is?
Hurt, disappointed, is upset, hurt, and disappointed. Watch, rinse, repeat.
So the impact before hurt, upset, disappointed.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the category. So the category is relationship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the persistent complaint and way you behave or feel when this issue arises. The persistent complaint is my friends will listen to fake internet people, okay, about business than what I have to say in my experience.
And what way does that have you behave?
Okay, now the way and the way I behave or feel when this issue arises is upset, hurt, and disappointed.
Gotcha.
The future that gets created immediately when this issue arises is upset, hurt, and disappointed. Wash, rinse, repeat.
So the way you behave and the future that gets created are the same.
You got it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Diva Nikki. Now you got it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Jeanna. Okay. And Jeanna, and really that was great because Diva Nikki and I, we kind of broke down the components because people kind of get locked into there's a right way. They need to answer the question when really it's what's there. It's like tell the truth. So, so Jeanna, are you ready, ma'am? Hello, Miss Jeanna.
Yes, I'm ready. I also picked the category of relationships, business relationships, and
okay.
And my complaint was in reference to businesses that offer up information or assistance to you via either a webinar or some type of service that you're going to invest time in and not get a whole lot of value from. So they fill your time up with a bunch of fluff to kind of, and lead you in with these promises of newfound information, only to discover that they're not really presenting it in that way. Most times, you find yourself just having already wasted energy, time, and a lot of times money into that. And what I have heard a lot from clients has made me feel upset because in that idea,
I hear you.
It's like it builds a distrust for business to business relationships, and it makes it harder for those who really do have something to offer, and so for me, how it has changed my behavior, what I do from a business perspective is.
Okay. Just so we can kind of stick with this part. So let me make sure I got you recreated. Okay. Okay, so that Nikki can record it. So first off, the category is relationships and specifically business relationships.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm not that old, so you don't have to call me sir. And then I'm good looking now. I'm good looking.
Hey,
but that's a whole different story. Now the persistent complaint is businesses. Oh, wait, not businesses. I'll say businesses that promote webinars, seminars for business, and it's a bunch of fluff.
Correct.
It's a bunch of fluff, and on the light end, it's a bunch of fluff. On the high end, they're just misleading and taking people's money.
Correct.
Okay, so the persistent complaint is about businesses that rip off. So we're working on that in English, businesses that rip people off with fake, with fake webinars.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be, it's interesting. See, we've gotten this thing in language and communication where we say stuff and we don't communicate.
Yeah.
And, we don't always have to speak like Obama. And not at every moment. Yeah. So yeah, that upsets you. Businesses that would put up these fake webinars, hype up the latest thing, and just rip people off, and that upsets you, and you get present to the distrust that creates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
exactly.
Diva Nikki, so you got the persistent complaint and the way that she behaves.
I got the persistent complaint.
Okay, now the way she behaves is upset.
Got it.
Upset, and she's present. And as she behaves, the behavior is upset, but she's present to distrust. So I just kind of add that in. Now, Jeanna, oh man, this is what they're doing. When that, is when you realize that whether or not you participated, even just hearing it, kind of will upset you. What is the future that gets created immediately? What comes to mind?
Really, how do they stay in business? And then how do I take some type of initiative to show them what they're doing? In other words, they may know what they're doing, but how can I then, do I write a review? Do I, contact them via email, to let them know, hey, well, this was not as informative as you presented it to be.
That's so polite. I love that. Y'all did laugh.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Time is a commodity. We can't get back time. Time is a commodity.
Well, okay. Now I'm going to work with this and tell me if I'm on point. Okay, Jeanna.
Okay.
So the future that gets created immediately when this issue arises is, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
Is what can I do?
Yeah.
Wash, rinse, repeat. What can I do? So is that close to on point?
Yes, it is. I have to make this correction some way, in some form. Just let it be known.
Some way I gotta. So that's the future. I gotta do something. But what can I do about it? Okay, got it. Okay, now, Peter, that was great work. That was really, really great work. Now, having seen the future that gets created immediately when this issue arises, what is now possible in dealing with this issue that would give you freedom and power? Now, we're still kind of going through the steps. I'm saying words, okay. Now, now I'm going to repeat this, but I'm going to add something on to it. Having seen the future that gets created immediately when this issue arises, what is now possible in dealing with this issue that would give you freedom and power? Now, I want to make a distinction to the listener. The question is not, how could you fix the issue? It is not, how can you fix the issue? The question is, what is now possible in dealing with the issue that would give you freedom and power? And the question is, give you freedom and power. Nothing to do with fixing the issue. Now,
well, I guess in a sense, accepting that
just hang with it, okay? Because you got to remember, remember, I'm asking the question I'm asking, not the question I'm not asking. Okay? Because that is and we'll just see, okay? We'll just see. All right. Now, Okay, Diva Nikki, what was my issue and the impact or the future that I shared?
You had relationships and how people, your family, your friends.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of crackling in the background. It's hard to hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you chose relationships where your friends would rather listen to fake people, fake business people on the line rather than what you have to say from experience. And that has you hurt, sad, and disappointed. And the future that immediately gets created is hurt, sad, disappointed. Wash, rinse, repeat. Ronnie B, are you hurt, sad? Are you hurt, sad, and disappointed right now at listening to it again? Oh, he got it.
All right. Great work. Okay. All right.
We are experiencing it all today.
The technology bug. Okay. Okay.
Did you need me to repeat that? Or,
no. I'm good with that. Now, standing in the context, and the context is disciple. Okay. And standing in that context, which has nothing to do with fixing the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I can get that that I really do get upset, and I really am hurt and disappointed when people who know me, I'm their friend, I've proven, I can go on and on, and somebody, over the internet with a nice suit and trim this, start talking, and it's like everything I'm saying is nonsense. So, but I'm not going to be able to fix that because my friends are going to listen to who they choose, and they're my friends. I'm not going to get rid of them because they don't always listen to me. So that ain't going to happen. So, what I see possible is that I can have a little grace like I want them to have a little grace with me. So what I see possible is having a little grace, because ultimately they're my friends, they're my loved ones. And since when have I been listening to everything they got to say? When was last I'm listening to everything they got to say? Come on. So, yeah. So that gives me a little. I put it like this: that gives me a little more freedom and power. Like, you know what? Come on. All right, now. Okay, so that's what I see possible. It's the possibility of grace. Now, Diva Nikki, what was Jeanna's issue and the impact of future she shared?
Well, Jeanna's issue was relationships as well, and businesses that offered things, services, and they didn't provide what they promised, pretty much. And the results, they didn't provide the results. So that had her be frustrated. And that had her be disappointed. She's present to distrust. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Okay, well, the future that gets created is, what can I do?
What can I do? Right. And the future, what can I do?
What can I do? So, business relationships. Businesses that rip off people with fake, I don't care about that, but fake seminars and workshops. I hang out with spit face and old school.
This is a grown people show. This content is not.
All right, we do have the Empress of Faith, so we got to act a little bit like the heathen. All right, but business relationships, businesses that rip off people with fake, phony webinars and workshops that don't give them any kind of value, but always want to lead them into another program where they get, and you realize all you're getting is just nothing. And and that leaves you frustrated, disappointed, and you just feel the distrust with people trying to do this. I got to look at you all upside your head. And the future that's immediately present is, what can I do? So, Jeanna, being present to that future, what do you now see possible that would give you freedom and power?
Not operating in that same place and space, making sure that, I'm presenting things in a different way where they're actually seeing value in what I have to offer from the very beginning. Whether they, opt to, move forward in whatever project we have going or not, that from the very beginning they're actually seeing what it is that I have to offer and knowing it, and being able to trust in what I'm saying.
Wow. So I kind of want to phrase this like as a possibility, and you tell me if this rings for you. So would you say that what you see now, or what you now see possible, is something you've been present to all along, being authentic?
Oh, absolutely.
Being authentically you.
Absolutely.
If you're being authentically you don't have to fix anything.
No.
Yeah. and the what can you do is answered. Be authentically you. What can I do? Be authentically me. Now, Jeanna, the future you now see possible. Just being authentically you. Just fulfilled right in this moment. What would it be like? What would you be doing? What would you have?
What would you have?
What would you be doing? What would you have? Yeah, what would you have?
Yeah, you would be open. You would be open to anything. You don't have the pressure that would come with trying to fit in the box. You no longer have to worry about even how others see you. Your peace is within, because you're being real with yourself and what you're putting out in the universe. It's not anything to live up to. Okay. So all that you are is all that they see. And the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit.
Wow. So does that inspire you?
Because if you don't have any reservations behind, anything, then there's no limitation.
Does that inspire you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. To do more, see more, be more.
All right. Well, let me thank Jeanna. Anything else, Jeanna?
That's it. It's just everybody needs to understand who they are and be that person.
Wow. Well, thank you, Jeanna, for sharing the exercise. Now, okay, all right, listeners, really listen up. This exercise is not about fixing anything. It is about providing an access to power that you can create by being present to the impact of your occurring world. Now, I'm going to say this very bluntly. A lot of you are walking around with nonsense. You have nonsense conversations that don't make a difference, but they sound like great commentary. but they're nonsense, and they don't make any difference. When you take on the power of making a difference, you start speaking straight. You start saying things like, it pisses me off that businesses would set up these fake webinars and seminars and rip off people. So you start speaking English when you're making a difference instead of providing commentary. So this exercise is not about fixing anything. And don't be trying to do this exercise on somebody. I did the exercise. It was good. Let me go do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Empress Nakia and Diva Nikki are like really trained to do this. Do not do that. It will go badly for you, okay? And Diva Nikki, please take us away.
Coming up in the next segment, the finale, we'll have Jeanna's final interview, and we'll have future will. Stay tuned.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Over to Diva Nikki for the finale.
All right. Jeanna, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing and sharing our experience so far. So let's get into it. Jeanna, what challenges do you see lurking in the waters that will try to slow you down from making a difference?
I would say just staying on course, not letting some of my outside projects take precedence over my business. I find that sometimes, my desire to help others in building their businesses, I take on personal responsibilities for some of the things that they want to have happen in their growth. And in doing so, I neglect my position or my business a lot of times. By doing that, I'll invest more time into theirs as opposed to mine. And so that's probably the biggest thing that I think would slow me down or slow my momentum in my growth as a business.
Okay. Well, do me this. Now, please share 2 pitfalls you have seen people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for having their dreams and desires manifested.
Ooh, 2 things. One would probably being tainted by greed. Greed is one of those temptations that some people can't see like coming. Things will be presented to them. They're not really looking at the big picture. They're looking at the bottom line, not numbers, and not the sacrifices that they have to give up in order to get those numbers. So I would say greed is probably number 1 pitfall for most people that I see. And 2 would probably be not seeking guidance from people who are experienced or knowledgeable, have gone through all the trenches already and can kind of prevent them from having to do the same. Just sticking to their own understanding and how things that they have envisioned should be, where they could get and then there's so many opportunities and so many organizations out that are willing to help, business owners along the way. And I think, that's one of the things that I see a lot of times. They don't seek that guidance that's needed.
Mm-hmm. So greed and not seeking guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how both of those could be could be huge. It's possible. So would you please share with us one practice that you use daily to keep yourself in action and focused on the results you intend to produce?
Setting reminders for myself. So my phone, my calendar, I make, good use of both of those. And, we rely on our, phones to communicate and things like that, but we also, they're a good tool for keeping us on track and keeping us abreast of staying in the moment of things. Because, just like you're engaged in conversation or engaged in activity, you'll lose track of time and that kind of thing. But setting yourself reminders to alert you, when something's coming up, and it kind of gives you a heads up, like, hey, you only, shortstop yourself, that kind of thing. So I definitely use my phone as a tool for that to keep me focused, day to day, and making sure that I stay on task.
Mm-hmm. Reminders, goals, and staying on task.
Yeah, if your brain doesn't hold it, your phone will.
Hey, that's a good one. If your brain doesn't hold it, your phone will. What do you have on your plate now, and how can our listeners learn more about you and A Perfect Type?
Well, I am currently working with a printing company, so that's a new addition to what I had services previously, but I was doing graphic design and other things like that, and now that I've partnered with a printing service, I'm able to offer that up as a service as well, where, my clients would have to go somewhere else and have their stuff printed and that kind of thing. They no longer have to do that. So that I'm gearing up for the new year to really amp that up. As far as learning more about my services, I'm on all social media under A Perfect Type. My website is aperfecttype.com. And, you can reach me, either email, also at info@aperfecttype.com, or by phone, 281-236-9059.
Got it. Thank you. Well, it seems as though we have, let me see, Empress Nakia. Okay, well, she's gone off to celebrate when she solstice.
Yeah.
Like they just sit her on one of those church missions where she got to go on the desert and talk to the New Orleans people. And after she comes back from her mission,
right,
she got to go fight off a couple of demons. Oh God! All right.
So we don't have her to get her input, but Mr. Riley, is there anything that you would like to share or acknowledge from the interview?
Well, Jeanna, I just, the operative word, authenticity, and you have just been just authentic and straight, and that is just so present, and it's so powerful, so powerful. And I'll just say, what the world needs now is more authenticity. Everybody knows that's true. I won't quit my day job. I promise. I'm authentic about that. I ain't quitting my day job. All right,
come on back now. Come on back. So, for myself, Jeanna, like Ronnie said, your authenticity has been everything, and I want to thank you for the extra details that that we asked for, and your willingness to share them. When we asked you about the money laundering, what steps you had to take to overcome that, to go back into something that still in a way has some effect, but to get back to the root in the beginning of a pain, and then bring that back forward to thank you. That's very empowering, as well as sometimes taking someone, telling someone go back and reflect on something that they may not have, it's not pleasant, to just go back there that way. So I want to thank you for all of that and for being a perfect type to make a difference.
Thank you. I thank y'all both for sticking on the call with me, poor Nakia. Thank you for inviting me on, for sure, and allowing me to share the information, with your listeners and your audience. We're embarking on a new year, and as I was mentioning previously to Ronnie, this December is my planning month, and should be the planning month for most people on how they're going to go into the next year and, make things better, not necessarily resolutions, but just an actual plan in place to make some things happen.
Absolutely. Thank you. So now it is time for us to go over to our future wealth. Ronnie B. Mr. Ronnie, are you taking us on to future wealth, or would you like me to handle future wealth?
Oh, I'll go ahead. It's so rare I get to do future wealth. And Jeanna, please stay for the rest of the show. Okay, good. And let me just future wealth. Let me see here. We experience the occurring world and future from conversations we choose to generate for having the future and occurring world we desire, experienced, expressed, and producing results in our lives. We experience the occurring world and future from conversations we choose to generate for having the future and occurring world we desire. Now, we have a little exercise intended to empower you in clearing the space so you can be present to your occurring world and future. Now, a lot of you are going, well, I'm already present to my occurring. I know what I'm saying. Here's a question for you. Do you like the results you are currently producing in all areas of your life? Do you? All areas of your life. Now, if the answer is yes, got it. And I'm going to say take on the possibility, like what if I'm not present to my occurring world and future? The results you have are always consistent with what you truly are intending. They don't vary. If you have results you don't like or are not as powerful as you desire, that's a function of your intention, not an accident. Create the following categories: the holiday season, relationships, purpose, well-being, and finance. Now, under each category, just answer this question. Now, just pick a category, okay? Do the work. Pick a category. Where or with whom do I lack freedom, or the future just flat out sucks? Where or with whom do I lack freedom, or the future sucks? Now, answer these questions. How long have I lacked freedom, or the future sucks in this area, or with this person or group of people? How long? A month, a year, 30 years? All my life? Now, am I willing to have a breakthrough in this area or with this person or group of people? Now, here's something that it'll give you power in itself. Be honest. As Jeanna said, authentically be yourself. Tell the truth. It's not good or bad if you're not willing to have a breakthrough. It's simply what is so. Hey, freedom. The freedom to say, you know what, I don't want to have a breakthrough in this area. The freedom to be that way is included in being free. Now, if you're willing to have a breakthrough in this area or with this person or group of people, what conversation are you willing to have that would allow you to be vulnerable so others can see your strength? Your strengths lie hidden in your ability to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You build strength through weakness, not through more strength. That's not how it works. Now, you may ask, why do we say conversation? Why do we say conversation? Because your occurring world and future are from what conversations we choose to generate for having the future and occurring world we desire. So you want to like get to the source immediately. What my future is not what am I intending and why? Not it's fine. It's fine. Now, again, the access to power is communication. Keep working on this exercise during the week. If you have any questions or you need some coaching, email us at divas@prosperousdivas.com. Do not email Old Grumpy Radio Network, because what will happen is they will not get sent to the Divas. Divas@prosperousdivas.com. A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.